We're here with Nittany Lion linebacker Sean Lee, who's getting a whole different perspective of the Penn State football team this year after your knee injury, kind of watching from the sidelines, but I know you're making a lot of contributions to your team this year. Can you just talk a little bit about how you're doing, how your rehab is coming along right now?
Yeah, my knee feels great. I'm on track to be back. I've worked really hard. I've done whatever it takes to try to get this knee back, and with this season, with us doing so well, it's motivation, to work harder.
Motivation to work harder and get back on the field next
Yes.
year. I know that you're still very involved with this team. You're a team captain. You're obviously very involved when we watch you on the sidelines, very animated. Just talk about how your role on the team this year evolved coming out of the injury and into what you're doing now.
Well, when I got injured, obviously I was devastated and I wanted to play, but I told myself I still have a responsibility to the team to help us win, no matter how small it is. That this small of a difference could mean the difference in winning and losing. It's not only the players that help out, it's the coaches, it's the doctors on the sideline, everybody together, and I just wanted to be a part of this.
How would you define your role on the team? Is it a captain? Are you doing the same kinds of things you would do if you were on the field as a captain?
Well, yeah, I'm just trying, obviously because before I've had a lot of experience playing, and I'm just trying to tutor the guys. If they have any questions, I want them to be able to come to me. In big game situations, they might not have been in them before. They can come, we could talk about it, and try to help them.
What do you think you've learned about this team in the position that you've been in when you've had such a chance to watch during these games? I mean, I would imagine it's a whole different perspective than being in the middle of the action.
We just have so many great leaders this year. The senior class in general. And you could tell that before the year something special was going to happen with the amount of leaders we had. And to get on the field and see them play well is so rewarding.
Yeah, and rewarding for you even though you're not able to be on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of, when you get hurt, you kind of feel out of the loop. And it was a great honor for Coach Paterno to elect me captain, and that really pushed me to want to help even more.
There were so many questions about this defense after you got hurt, especially with the linebacking core.
No questions now.
No
questions anymore.
How gratifying has it been for you to see the progress and the growth that this defense has made throughout the season?
It's great because how much work they put in behind the scenes, and you saw the young guys in practice last year, how athletic, how talented they were. For them to get to show it now and get on the field and play like they can play is great.
Particularly your linebacking core, because after losing you and losing Dan Connor, those guys, I mean, we knew that there was talent there. Obviously, Penn State always has talented linebackers, but they were really not battle-tested the way that the big three, Posluszny, Connor, and Lee, had been. So can you talk about what you've seen from them and maybe how you've been able to help them along?
Well, that's not easy. And I've always said, your first few games, playing, taking it from practice to the game speed is completely different, and it's tough. And they picked it up like that. They're such good athletes, and they put so much time in, and I think that's really cut down on the change.
I want to talk a little bit about that Ohio State game because it was such a great defensive struggle, and it did come down to that one big defensive play. Tom Bradley told me that it's the way those big games. That's the way that big games are decided, with one big play. And so many times Penn State has been on the other end of that one big play. And maybe you can break it down for us a little bit.
It's 3rd and 1, short, so they're going to try to sneak it. Instead of going straight forward like a quarterback usually does, he tries to bounce it out. Mark Rubin does a great job going and attacking him and punches the ball loose. And the play that really saved the game was Tyrell Sales. When he saw the ball and saw that he couldn't get it, he tackled Beanie Wells and then knocked the ball and kept it alive, and then Navarro Bowman jumped on it.
What was going through your mind when you're on the sidelines and you see that play?
Well, the play went away from us, and I didn't know what the ball. Then somebody yelled fumble, so I'm jumping up and down, get the ball, get the ball. And then it's just a big scrum. No one could see where the ball was, who had it. And then finally, we saw, the guys jumped up and said we had it, so we were flipping out, knowing this could be the change in the game.
Here comes that Sales.
Yeah, look at that, great play. You see how he knocked the ball out with his hand, and Sales right there. That's just great awareness for him to knock the ball to keep it alive.
You probably can't watch that enough, can you?
No, it's great. It was great. On the sideline, we were going crazy, and the offense did a great job of capitalizing on the turnover. And then later in the game, just continuing to run down the field to solidify the win.
How fitting do you think it is, with all of the struggles that this defense has gone through this year, that the signature win so far this season is a big signature defensive play? Well,
we knew we could play like that. And especially after last year when we didn't make a Ohio State punt, we felt like we just played terrible. We wanted to make up for it, and we did this year.
Yeah. You mentioned the offense, and we want to talk a little bit about the offense because the defense has had to carry the load so many years here at Penn State, and now you guys really have a little bit of a cushion in the way that this team is able to open the playbook and score. What have you seen from the offense that you've liked this year?
Well, we saw it right away in camp. you know, the first few weeks of camp, we had a lot of trouble stopping them. And we realized they had so many weapons. You know, we have 2 really good tight ends, a ton of running backs, a great quarterback who stepped up for us. You know, and we knew he was good, but we didn't know how good he was until he got in the games, and he's played wonderful for us. And obviously, we've had these wide receivers for years now, and they've been leaders and they've been great for us, and you know, that's been the difference.
Would you consider Daryl and Derek and Dion and Jordan all part of your senior class?
Yes.
Are they're part of your?
Absolutely,
you consider them part of your senior class? What do you think it is about this senior class that has been so special? Because you guys came in when the program was not what it is today, and it wasn't what it was in 2005.
We came in, and you have to give credit to guys like Mike Robinson, Paul Plesny, you know, guys who were great leaders when we came in, and they really showed us how to work, what we needed to do to win, and you could see that season. You know, and we've been wanting to get back to that level of success, and we've been wanting to take it even further. You know, that year we were 2 seconds away from playing in the national championship, and this year we're not looking to make any mistakes like that. We want to go all the way.
Yeah. What do you think that this senior class has learned along the way? Not just from Michael Robinson, but also from the years that followed, where just getting to a bowl game isn't really enough for this team anymore, is it?
No, it just shows how much work you have to put in, how detailed you have to be preparing for games. You know, you can have talent, but you know, everybody in the Big Ten, everybody in the country has talent. You have to separate yourself by, you know, always working hard and always being prepared.
I want to go back to the linebackers a little bit. We talked a little bit about how they have progressed, and do you see those young guys living up to linebacker
Absolutely.
you the way you and Paul and Dan have?
I mean, I feel like they're going to, you know, take where it is now and make it even better. You know, they're great guys and they're great athletes, and the best part about it is they understand where their success is coming from. They understand that if you put in the hard work, you're going to play well. I
want to read a quote to you from Tom Bradley about you. He said, no, it's good, it's good. He says, "You can't know all the little things that Sean Lee does. He sets the example for what these guys do for this team every day. His heart is totally in it. He may be disappointed to not be playing, but you'd never know it. This is where his heart is. I love this kid. He's out of this world." Now, all the kids that he's coached over the years, and that's what he has to say about you. What's your reaction when you hear that?
I mean, that's obviously an honor. You know, I really look up to him and all the coaches, because they've done such a great job, and you know, they lead the example for us. And like I said, I just wanted to be part of this team because it's not, you know, everybody on this team. We have a ton of special people, including Coach Bradley, Coach Paterno. I mean, we have so many special people, and just for me to be a part of it, I feel is an honor, and that's why I'm going to work as hard as I can every day to try to help us win in my small role.
Who do you think's more animated on the sidelines, you or Coach Bradley?
No, it's him. Believe me. You might, you know, I'm out there, you know, running around. Believe me, he's more animated. He never stays in one position. He's always pacing up and down, up and down.
I asked him that, and he said, "I don't know if Sean's a mini me or if I'm a mini Lee," because he said you're so intense. He described you as such an intense person.
Yeah, you know, you prepare for these games. You watch our team in practice, and usually you're able to go on the field and take it out on the field. But you know, I have nowhere to take this energy, so I'm just jumping up and down on the sideline, not knowing what to do with it.
And I bet you can't wait to get back on the field next year.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited.
What do you think that you can take back onto the field with you when you go after spending a year observing the way you have?
I feel like, you know, reading offenses, knowing what they're trying to do to our defense. You know, obviously as a defensive player, you need to know the weaknesses of your defense and where offenses are trying to attack. And you know, you've played against these teams year after year. You've seen what they're trying to do. It just comes like that, and it should make me faster. It should make me read faster. And I'm hoping to come back better.
Having played against these teams year after year, especially a team like Ohio State, can you put into words the significance of that win last weekend, and having not won at the Horseshoe for 30 years, and the importance of that win in the course of this season, which is turning into be such a special one?
Yeah, I mean, that, you know, especially week after week, we had played a bunch of really good football teams, and it led up to Ohio State, and we knew we had the bye week afterwards, and you know, Ohio State, we went there 2 years ago. We played well, and we didn't get it done. And, you know, we know anytime you beat Ohio State or play them, it's a big game, and we really wanted it. We knew it was another stepping stone. You know, we understand that every game's just important. We're a 3-game playoff right now, but to really beat Ohio State after they've beat us the last 2 years was huge.
Yeah. Do you do any rehab with Coach Paterno?
No rehab with Coach. I don't know if I want to do rehab with him. You know, he might push me too hard.
Might be hard to keep up with him. Can you just talk about the performance of him this year? Because I think it says a lot about his demeanor, his coaching ability to really be able to take a step back. It's got to be awfully hard for him to not be right there in the thick of the action, as you know from your own personal experience. But I mean, he's always been so involved. Just what you've seen from him this year?
I know it's extremely hard for him, but he's done a wonderful job. the whole year. He's always told us, we can be a good football team. We just have to continue to put the work in. We have to continue to get better every day. And for him to not be on the sideline, I know it's killing him, but he's still up there in the box. I have those headsets on sometimes, and I can hear, he's not even on the phone, and I can hear him screaming in the background up there.
Do you keep in touch with Dan and Paul at all?
Yeah, I
get
I get to talk to them sometimes. I'll call Paul or text Dan every once in a while. I know Dan's going through the same thing I went through, which is a bummer. So he'll sometimes text me for some advice, and I'll try to give him the best advice I can.
Well, Tom Bradley said that in 2 years you're going to be a first-round draft pick, and you'll be there in the NFL with those guys.
Yeah, if that comes, it comes. I'm just going to work as hard as I can.
I know you're a finance major, but I wonder, having seen the game from the sidelines the way you have this year, if coaching is something that's coming into the forefront of your mind at all.
Oh, the more and more I'm around it, the more and more I realize it's my passion, it's what I want to do. And it's not only football, it's the whole team atmosphere. Being part of a team, working towards a common goal, I really enjoy that, and I think I could see myself doing that in the future.
You look back at all the great teams in Penn State history, the ones that have won national titles, the ones that have finished undefeated, even the 2005 team that you were a part of. And it's so much more when they talk about their team than the talent. It's the camaraderie of the guys and the single-minded focus. And are you seeing that kind of special?
Absolutely. No, we don't have a selfish guy on this team. Everybody understands what our goal is, and everybody understands if someone else is doing well, that is helping the team win. You can see, with guys like Derek Williams, talking about how he returns a kick, but he's talking about the blocking. Talking about the offensive line always doing well. Everybody just this year seems to be a really cohesive unit.
What is this team capable of the rest of the way?
Obviously, if we keep preparing right, if we keep putting in the time, playing like we have been, we can go extremely far. We beat Ohio State, but we go out and lose next week. It doesn't matter. We have to win each game. We have to prepare the same each game, come out with the same intensity, or we're not going to win, we're not going to accomplish our goals.